Hello, hello, hello. You are here with Dave, Jose, and we are coming to drop another bombshell video on you to let you see what the people can do to stand up and why it is important we do it this way. Now, guys, I'm going to let you know that we have a lot of people teaching a lot of different ways to do things. We have a lot of people trying to sue nationwide, trying to do court cases in order to get victory. And I think that we need to look at the simple fact that I don't think that's the best way to do things. And I'll tell you why. When we look at how government is supposed to work, our forefathers told us how we should deal with certain things, and they also told us the powers that we have. And I think that because we have been looking at our powers in the wrong way, it could cause a situation where we end up in trouble when we're trying to correct bad government. I think that by default, when we look at the fact that we have not been taught our state constitutions, what ends up happening is that when it becomes time for us to correct bad behavior, we automatically by default run into a situation where we end up subservient or coming from a position where there is a lack of power.
The people hold all political power. All political power is inherent in the people. This is something you've been hearing me and David Jose say almost daily for like the last 7 or 8 months to people, to let them know the powers that we have. Now, when you look in the state constitution, you have the people that created our legislature, the legislature that created different positions like the BOS or any of these other positions beneath them. But the fact comes back, it always circles back to the fact that the people are the ones that created the Constitution, that created the legislatures, that created these positions. So for anyone to tell us any different, that the people have no say in what goes on, is 100% wrong, period. The people decide what happens, and the people decide this by putting our government officials on notice via affidavits and or notices, and laying out a constitutional argument or showing them the Constitution where our constitutional rights are. Majority of our constitutional rights are in the Bills of Rights of our respective states, not necessarily in the U.S. Constitution. So I want people to understand that the Bill of Rights in the states is where the majority of our rights are. Now, as a parent, I don't let my son tell me, "Dad, go clean your room." I created him, much in the same way that we, the people, created our legislature. I'm not going to let my son dictate and tell me what to do or what he's going to do. I'm going to dictate and take control of it, and based on morals and ethics and all the other factors, to do the right thing. The same thing with us. We're going to direct and instruct our legislators, our elected servants and trustees, to our trust indenture, the Constitution, to do the right thing based on morals and ethics and everything else, and also our rights that are declared within it. It's really that simple. It's our duty as people in the United States, as one of the people, to instruct our servants and trustees, constitutionally instruct them, show them in the law, in the Constitution, what is wrong, what is being done wrong, and that we want it corrected. We just don't make up baseless claims about stuff that's happening or stuff that maybe our opinions are different. We are basing everything solely on the Constitution and the rights therein. It's really that simple. I want to let you know, guys, we have all the power. We are in control. We need to take back the control, and this is how we do it. We utilize affidavits and notices to let them know, we know what you're doing. It's unconstitutional, it's unlawful, and we don't like it, and we want it corrected immediately. That's how we take back control, people. Please follow our videos, watch our stuff, study it. If you have questions, you can ask David, Jose, or I, but this is how we take back control. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
And a lack of authority. Now, the reason I say this is because we have been taught by attorneys and people our whole life that if something is wrong, we need to take it to the courts and let the courts, the judge, make a decision on what should happen. And I realized that that is 100% wrong. 100% wrong. Now, if you understand your power and you understand the position that God gave us in the book of Genesis 126, you'll clearly see that God gave man dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and the creepy crawling things on the earth. So God gave us dominion. We also know from our forefathers that all men are created equal, right? So we are equally free, equally independent, and we are created equal. If that is the case, then there is no power for one man to rule over another man in a man's natural sense or as one of the people. So when it comes to our form of government or creating government, one thing that we must understand is that the people have all political power. So I'm going to show this in state constitutions and we're going to look at it. Then we're going to go to the next step. All right, so let's check out text of section 2. This is the Idaho Constitution. All political power is inherent in the people. Government is instituted for their equal protection and benefit. So they're to be protecting and benefiting us. And they have the right, the people do, to alter, reform, or abolish the same. When, guys? Whenever they may deem it necessary. Watch this. And no special privileges or immunities shall ever be granted that may not be altered, revoked, or repealed by the legislature. So the legislature has the ability to come in, alter, revoke, and repeal any bit of power or immunities or special privileges that they give out. So if they are granting something to some entity or some government authority, they can also remove that authority. Now, guys, what I want you to realize is that the people have the right to alter, reform, and abolish the same, the government, whenever they may deem it necessary. This is an inherent right of the people, and we don't need the government's permission to deal with this. So if this is the case, guys, why are so many people running to the courts, which we created, to ask them for permission to do what we already have the right to do? Now let's see what our forefathers said. Text of section 10, right of assembly. The people shall have the right to assemble in a peaceable manner, to consult for their common good, go over what they need to do to make their lives better. And then what can they do? To instruct their representatives and to petition the legislature for the redress of grievances. If somebody does something wrong and interferes with our business or messes up our life or tears up the government that we created, we have the ability to get redress of grievance, and our duty is to instruct our representatives. Now, we're not only able to instruct the representatives who are the legislature, but we're also able to instruct the executive branch and the judicial branch. So you think about it. We have the ability to come and stand in a position of power as one of the people and direct our government officials. Let's look in other states to see if this is the case. Here's the Virginia Bill of Rights, Section 12. That the freedoms of speech and of the press are among the great bulwarks of liberty, and can never be restrained except by despotic governments, that any citizen may freely speak, write, and publish the sentiments on all subjects, being responsible for the abuse of that right. Now watch this. That the General Assembly shall not pass any law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, nor the right of the people, watch this, peaceably to assemble and to petition the government, not just the legislature, petition the government for redress of grievance. Now, this petition here does not mean that we write out a list of names and set up something for the government to look and see if they want to deal with what we say. Petition for the redress of grievance is showing that there are some things that could have affected you that the government needs to fix because you are one of the aggrieved. Now, another thing that's important is it talks about the freedom of speech being restrained by despotic governments. That's the only time it happens. Well, what is it when the government officials get with Facebook, Twitter, and these different entities and ask them to get rid of what the people have to say? Now, here we go. We're going to look at Maine Constitution. Let's look at Section 2. Power inherent in people. All power is inherent in the people. All free governments are founded in their authority, the people's authority, and instituted for their benefit. They have, therefore, an unalienable and indefeasible right to institute government. Guys, we can put it in and we can take it away. Watch this. And to alter, reform, or totally change the same when their safety and happiness require it. Is that every 4 years? Guys, what is happening today in America where government officials, judges, workers are trying to tell us and legislative body members that they don't want us to know what happened inside of our elections. They don't want us to talk about it. They're only going to let us do what they want us to do. Guys, that is unacceptable. We have the 100% right to institute government. And we also have the right to alter, reform, or totally change the same. That's plain language. When? When our safety and happiness require it. Now here's more of Maine Constitution. Let's look at section 15. Right of petition. The people have a right at all times, not just sometime, not just during session, not just when they want us to, in an orderly and peaceable manner to assemble to consult upon the common good. For what? To give instructions to their representatives and to request, here's another part, of either department of the government by petition or remonstrance, redress of their wrongs and grievances. Guys, this is super important. So what's happening here? What's happening is that we have been running to these courts, getting inside of their cases under their jurisdiction and asking those who have been doing wrong with other bar association members to tell us if it's okay that we could have something when the bar has clearly showed us they don't want us getting audits. They're going to attack the attorneys who get audits. But right here it says we can go before either department of the government by petition or remonstrance. Well, what does remonstrance mean? I think when we look at the definition of remonstrance as being a strong rebuke, right? Getting the government official to get in order, in line because they're making a mistake is going to really open our eyes. So guys, I'm telling you, this is our duty and where we've messed up. Remonstrance, Black Law 5. What we're going to do is go down to the important part of the definition. I just wanted you guys to see what the definition was. So here we go. A formal protest against the policy or conduct of the government or of certain officials drawn up and presented by aggrieved citizens. So guys, what we're supposed to be doing is not actually going into the courts and begging for the court to fix our issues. We are to go to the court, to the legislature, to the executive branch, and let them know, the certain officials, that they are messing up or making a mistake. Okay, guys, so in conclusion, we realize that the government officials belong to us. We can change our constitutions and the government at will, at any time, whenever we need to. If we see that they're going against our happiness and safety or in maladministration or destroying the nation state, whatever, we can interfere. So guys, what you have to understand is we don't need to go into the court and then write out a petition to the court for some type of relief. We need to petition or use remonstrance in a way where we are actually addressing them and correcting their wrongs, showing them constitutionally where they are messing up and demanding that they fix it so we don't have to fix it. Because if we have to fix it, we have to correct whole government, part of government. But that's okay. We will do that if we need to. And we have that inherent and indefeasible right, as you have seen. So guys, we have been deceived when it comes to telling us we need to do a petition, as in petitioning the court by going through a case. We are not the ones being judged, so we don't need to be going through cases. What we need to do is address the courts directly, address the Supreme Court, address the local superior courts and district courts, and let them know that, listen, you work for us. You are here to be a benefit to the people. You are working with bar associations and giving them authority that the people never declared that they can have, and this is a problem. You are going against the people's right to audit their own business. This is not what should happen. So guys, we are making a mistake by submitting to their jurisdiction and asking them to do things for us when we are the ones who are constitutionally in power. We are the ones who have all political power. It makes no sense to lower yourself to the status of someone who's under their jurisdiction to get them to do right. Now, if you've been harmed, you can go through a court case to get remedy, but we can get redress of grievance from the legislature, and we can also order the executive branch, legislative branch, and judicial branch to follow the Constitution. Here is the truth. Here is the law. Here is the way we really should be going. And you have seen us have much success all over the nation with many different people of many different races, many different ages. There is no excuse for people to not look at what is simply in the law to stand up and exercise their power. I will catch you guys later. I love y'all. Stay out of trouble. Peace.